Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paris Thua from the British Academy, and I'm going to be talking to you about our Early Career Researcher Network. But before I do that, I'd like to show you a video which gives a bit of a flavour and overview of the network. So just bear with me 1 second.
My involvement with the Early Career Research Network started about 3 years ago. Just taking that step was the whole start of it, and then it took off. I started writing bits with colleagues I met on the network. I started actually informal conversations with them. I seek advice from them sometimes. They taught me a few things as well, how to use the Gary, for example, how to maximize the chances of getting my paper published with a certain journal, for example. Giving me that sense of community, that sense of training and skills, that feeling of you're not alone.
I think British Academy gave us a very good opportunity to network with people like who are early career researchers. I think, yeah, it's great. And I really want to know people, know their research, and feel like I'm part of a community.
We are also able to meet colleagues from different subject areas, but with similar substantive interests. For instance, I was facilitating the discussion for climate action and sustainability, and all that was very interesting and useful. Really looking forward to more engaging discussion and collaboration.
What I want to find is the person who I can collaborate with in teams to make that change.
Great. Okay. So, yeah. So yes, I'm going to be talking to you about the. So I'm very short. I'm going to try about the British Academy Early Career Researcher Network. But just before I go into that, I just want to provide a bit of some context about how it came about. So as Michelle mentioned earlier, some of you in the session, that the British Academy is a grant giver. We tend to give grant funding to people working in the humanities and social sciences. We also do policy work and other various things. And in terms of grant funding, we have two main grant funding opportunities at the Academy for Early Career Researchers. So these are typically people within 8 years of their PhD experience. And those schemes are very competitive. I think the postdoctoral fellowships, we have a 8% success rate, and the Newton International Fellowships, we have a 6% success rate. So we tend to give for the Newton International Fellowships around 12 awards a year, and the postdoc, so the PDF scheme, we give about 64, and 70 I think has been the largest we've ever given. So what we have is those that we fund say that it's amazing to get this prestigious award from the British Academy, but it doesn't negate precarity, because as some of you may be aware, that academia is a very precarious environment, and lots of short-term, fixed-term contracts. And then those that we do fund, and those that we don't fund, we don't give feedback, and we tend not to give feedback, not because the awards are not great, or it's mostly because we don't. The fellows who review the applications tend to not have. They get quite a large number of applications, sometimes in the hundreds, and so it's very hard to kind of pinpoint why. And it's mostly as well because of funding rather than anything particularly wrong with the the application. So there seems to be a clear synergy between these two groups, that we need to kind of provide an opportunity for them to develop their personal skills and professional skills development, because those that we fund say that they need more from us in terms of project management, how to write CVs, presentation skills, and those that we don't fund, they want more information from us about how they can strengthen their grant writing skills and other skill sets so that they can put this in their grant applications and hopefully secure funding from us or others such as Wellcome and other funders. And so that's where the network was born. Before we launched it, we did a focus group with our Newton International Fellows and our postdoctoral researchers and asked them, if we were to develop a network for you to develop your skills, what would you like it to look like? And so that has really is the underpin and foundation of the network. So I'll just now go into what it is. So what is the network? It's a UK-wide network for ECRs working in the humanities and social sciences. It's a network by ECRs for ECRs, which means that the ECRs really inform and shape how the network develops. We want them to be at the heart of it. We want to make sure that everything we do is responsive to their needs, and so that they can tangibly carry out and exercise everything that they're learning from the network in their careers. And also the network is a space to provide opportunities for them to enhance and be competitive in the job market, as well as develop personally. So who is the network for? So ECRs within 10 years of their PhD experience, they must have relevant research experience or equivalent. As I said earlier, must be working in SHAPE. They could be funded by us, the British Academy, Leverhulme funded, and soon the Wellcome Trust, the Wellcome Trust cohort that are working in SHAPE. They need to be affiliated with a university that we're in the regions that we're currently working in, which is 6 at the moment, which I'll go to a bit later. And they need to be primarily based in the UK at the moment. So in terms of figures, we have nearly 7,000 members, which is crazy. I think when we started, Michelle was a very crucial part of us securing funding for this. I think we said we'd have about 500 members in 2 years. We actually had 2,500 members in 1 year. So you can see that there's a big need for ECRs to develop their skills, particularly with job cuts and department closures. It's really important that they have this resource to develop their skills and engage and network with each other. And so here you see the breakdown of where we're currently based. So we've got British Academy funded, Leverhulme Trust funded, then London, Midlands, Mid Wales, North East, Northern Ireland, North West, North Wales, Scotland, and South West. And we're soon going to be launching in 3 final regions, which will be Yorkshire and Humber, South East and East of England, and we're going to be a nationwide initiative. And we suspect that by the end of the year, we're going to have about 10,000 members. And that's just of the regional cohort. We haven't even included Wellcome in this, which will be kind of a separate group. And so in terms of engagement, we're seeing that 61% of our members are engaging, and we measure engagement in terms of attending all the network activities that we put on, which I'll mention a bit later, and also engaging with our online community platform, which is a space where ECRs can engage with each other, contact each other, share ideas, even share grant bids. We also have colleagues at the British Academy, like the policy team, who are also on the platform, who can kind of provide advice and meet with ECRs if they want to have a chat and get advice on other things. And a lot of our members are female, which I don't think would be a surprise. But then what is a surprise is that the fellowship, which Michelle mentioned earlier, we have 1,400, I think most of them are men. So it's kind of interesting to see, which some of us may find that or not interesting. But yeah, in the next coming years, we want to kind of drill down into this and find out where that gap is, because if we're having so many ECRs as female, but they don't get to the top and become kind of these fellows of the British Academy and other organisation, national bodies, so it's interesting to see why that is. I'm sure we can think of a few reasons, but yeah. And as I said, this is where we're currently affiliated, and these are the institutions that are our key delivery partners. So these are institutions that we're working with to drive and manage the network across the region. And it's really important we work with regional partners so that we align efforts rather than duplicate efforts. We know there's a lot of amazing, great work currently being offered at the regional level to ECRs at each institution, but what we want the network to do is to bring ECRs across the regions together. And so the funding that we provide allows these individual institutions to extend their provision to ECRs across the region, and also work together collaboratively to organize events for ECRs across the regions as well, and working with us to do so. So it's really good. So what are the benefits of being in the network? So ECRs can apply for up to £5,000 to conduct research for 9 months. Now this is really important because, as I mentioned, our funding schemes are very competitive, and so we want to, through the network, provide an opportunities for ECRs to develop their grant writing skills so that they can leverage further funding from us and others in the coming years. And so this is quite a light touch kind of application process. Not that we're not looking for excellence, but we don't ask ECRs to provide us their CV. We're not interested in what they've done before, which is what we would be asking in the other funding schemes that the British Academy offer, and rightfully so. But for this, we're more interested in your research project that you want to do, so that you can add this to your CV. You see, so that's how we're trying to do that. And also we get ECRs to peer review the application so that they can learn and see from the other side, so that when they're going to write grant applications, they can see what the funders are looking at, and hopefully that will help in terms of developing their skills and looking at things in a different way. And then we have one of our fellows as the lead chair, so kind of support these ECRs with the peer review. So it's a really good learning aspect for the ECRs and also the fellows as well who are supporting the ECRs. And then secondly, we have the Development Fund, which is a fund that provides ECRs an opportunity to bring people together and convene people to discuss about subject-based matters or others. So even an event like this, so if you're studying, for example, climate change, you want to bring all the experts to kind of brainstorm ideas and develop, this funding will allow you to do that. So it'll cover catering, AV, and it's a really important fund. And we've seen that it's really helped kind of widen and expand the networks for the ECRs. And also this is something they can put on their CV that they've convened people, which is really important. And then we have Development Fund Stream 2, which is where ECRs can engage in an opportunity outside of the network, so they can apply for up to £300, it's gone up now, to either attend an interview, because we know that funding is really constrained, so if they need to attend an interview, also to attend a conference such as this, or another activity that will develop their skills outside of what the academy are doing. Again, we want to use the network as a way to also align efforts, not only just be like British Academy are doing this, we kind of want to support other organisations, what they're doing to support ECRs. And also cover professional association membership fees. We know this is crucial because ECRs, the independent researchers who are not working with people at the moment, they kind of feel alone, they kind of feel isolated. So this covering professional membership association fees allows them to still engage with people in their discipline and subject area. And it's proven to be quite successful. Travel grants, we don't want funding to be a barrier to why ECRs can't attend our events, so we cover their travel and accommodation to attend events. We have the online community platform, which I mentioned earlier, which is a space for ECRs to engage and network with each other and for us to post resources for the ECRs. We have a mentoring group, which is made up of fellows. It's called Encourage and Engage, where fellows engage and network with and mentor, ECRs. So we've had our second Encourage and Engage group. The first one was in law, and this second one has been modern and early languages. And so it's a 2-hour session each month. So the first hour, you have 4 fellows talk to ECRs about the subject area, and then the final hour, it's a one-to-one where ECRs can ask fellows specific questions about their careers. And that's proved to be really supportive, really encouraging for both groups, actually, because the fellows are like, I wish we had this, when we were coming up. And also it's nice to hear the challenges and the positives that ECRs are going through, so they can kind of keep abreast and hopefully make some change in their institutions to champion for ECRs. And then obviously the ECRs are finding it really helpful to kind of speak to someone, which I think we'd all value, having that expertise advice from people that have gone through kind of what we're going through. So that's proven to be really helpful. And I think 100% of the people that have attended the sessions have said that it's really positive. So that's really, really good. And then finally, something that I'm really excited about, which we're going to be implementing or introducing into the network soon, is the Skills Passport, which looks like this. So this came from wider work that the British Academy were doing, and our president, Julia Black, where she wanted to look at what the workforce gaps are in shape. And so a Skills Passport was developed where ECRs or academics are able to demonstrate the skill set they have, so that when they're applying for jobs or they're applying for funding, they're able to look at what the funding opportunity or job is and the skill set that is required, and then look at their skill set and see whether they are a good fit for now. And so this is a visual way for us to look at, the skill set that we have. And so this is going to be quite transformative because one, the ECRs who organize events for the network will be able to say they have organized an event on X, so looking at climate change or education, and the description of the event will be able to feed in and tease out some of these skills that you can see here, like communication, problem solving. So the ECRs will be able to say, I delivered this event to 10 ECRs, and these are the skills that they got. So I can actually, cascade my knowledge and learning to develop other ECRs. And then the events that ECRs go that we organize, or others in the academy and outside, they'll be able to say, I attended this event on demystifying the stigma about mental health, and these are the skills that I learned. So they're able to say the skills that they've provided and the skills that they've gained, and they can put this on their LinkedIn profile, their CVs, and it will just be a really great way for them to make sure that they pick the right jobs and opportunities for them with the skill set that they have, so that hopefully they're not going to be too disappointed if they don't, they'll be getting the right opportunities for them at the right stage. So this will be coming into the network in the next couple of weeks. And it'll be really important to see and great to see what the impact that this will make. So that's that. Sure. Keep going. And then another very exciting opportunity that's come into the network, which is very recent, hot off the press, is we've recently been awarded £5 million by the Wellcome Trust to manage and deliver and manage a leadership an advanced program. So this came about, as some of you may be aware, that Wellcome Fund do actually support ECRs working in SHAPE, but they make a very small cohort out of the wider sciences cohort. So it's about 13 to 14 a year. And when they go through, when they get the awards, they go through a week of a residential leadership course run by an organization called EMBO Lab. But the training that they get is very much focused on lab-based work. And obviously the SHAPE researchers are working in, universities and galleries and museums and archives and whatever. So they wanted to come up with a leadership program that could really speak to ECRs working in SHAPE. And they also want to pour more into SHAPE, as we know that there's a lot of upset happening at the moment for SHAPE disciplines because of department closures and cuts and everything like that. So they did a scoping study and found the network, as we are, as the British Academy as well, is home of SHAPE, who best to do it. But we did have to convince them, Michelle and I. We put together a bid of how we can respond to this. So it's twofold. So one is there will be a leadership program which will train 62 ECRs across 6 months on these leadership areas. And then after they finish this, they will have 9 months to put on an activity and event for the network to demonstrate impact. So again, given back to the network. There will also be peer-to-peer mentors for the upcoming cohort. So the funding will be for a 3-year pilot, and we hope it will continue further. We're really excited about this program. It will start in March next year, but the application to be part of the leadership course will open in August. So it's going to be quite a long open process, but we want that to happen because we want to give ECRs enough time to really think about whether they want to undertake this course. And also the training will be tailored to each career stage in the early career researcher stage, so it'll be early, mid, and early, late. And so we're looking for ECRs that are really looking to get into that next level within their career stage. There'll be a competitive process and a review panel and a decision made on who the successful 62 people will be. And this will include Wellcome ECR, so it'll be for BA ECRN members and Wellcome funded ECRs in SHAPE. So that's the leadership aspect. And then the advancement is a really exciting aspect because it's Wellcome committing to support the SHAPE disciplines and actually allowing us to extend the provision of the network, so what we currently provide. So this will just give us more money to run more events, more activities, and be able to open it up to their ECRs. And so these are some of the activities that we will be doing more of because they seem to be the most popular ones for the network at the moment. And so, what are the key highlights of the network? So, the network has grown should be nearly 7,000 members within 4 years, which is pretty amazing, and it's good, but it's quite sad to see the need and how the sector is really in dire straits. And so, but it's good that the British Academy are able to support and rise to the challenge. And so we're currently working with over 100 institutions in the UK, which is really exciting. And the team has grown to 2 members, from 2 members to 8, which is wild. So it's really great to see us growing so much. We've ran over 400 events since 2021, so this is pretty great. And then in 2022, we ran 2024, we ran 120 events, and actually 56 of those were run by ECRs, so that's really, really positive. And we want the network to be run more by ECRs. We want more activities from them, and then we can focus more on getting external kind of organizations to do kind of the more crucial training, such as grant writing and others. But we want the network really to be run by the ECRs. That's the hope. And then finally, here's the team. So we've got, a few of them are missing from here because this is an old picture, but we've kept it on because it's quite nice and it shows kind of the original team. But we've got Charlotte, who's the membership manager, Ema, who's the ECRN assistant, we've got Anastasia, Isis, and Paula, who are the regional officers. So they're really crucial in supporting the universities were working in the region and driving the network across the UK, and then the rest of us kind of stay in-house at the academy. Yeah, so that's just a brief overview, so I hope that's helpful. And yeah, ask me any questions you have. Thank you.